Yeah, I'll get it. Write it down, write it down. Write it down. Yeah. That's what I was like.
Let's start. I know everyone's eating. There'll be more food on the way. I'll moderate because I've done this for a while. Haven't seen. So yeah, let's do quick introductions from you guys.
Hi, I'm Esmeralda Huerta. Can you guys look up here? Okay, 1, 2, and here. It wasn't everyone. Okay.
Tell us what school you're in, where you're from, what activities you're involved with here at Georgetown.
Okay.
You're a freshman, so you can kind of talk about that experience.
Yep. I'm a noob. This is my first year. I'm in the SFS, which is the School of Foreign Service. I come from Texas, and I will draw where? Excuse me.
Practice.
Right here. So next to the border. It's a great place. You guys should go. After you come, visit the
McAllen?
San Benito. Who's in McAllen? Oh, hi.
No, that's it. From McAllen?
No, that's pretty close by.
Oh.
Customs. Sorry.
San Benito, right?
San Benito. So in the accent.
Yes.
That's me in a nutshell.
My name is Martin Rincon. I am from Compton, California. It's like a couple minutes away from Los Angeles. Like I said before, I'm studying sociology, minoring in education and government, and I'm a junior. I guess some of the activities here on campus, I'm part of Phi Beta Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. It's an all-male fraternity, as well as I've been a part of Med Shop, Hilltop Tacos. I'm the current chef, taco chef there. What else? BFMG. I've been a protocol dancer before, and I've done tutoring and stuff around the area. So.
Jonathan Espinoza. I'm in college. I'm a sophomore from the best state in the union. Anyone? California.
It's okay.
From Orange County. And then what am I involved on campus? This is one of my brothers. I'm also part of Phi Beta Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I'm also involved with Hilltop Tacos. Most of my involvement is actually off campus.
Speak about your off-campus involvement, please.
I work at the White House. I worked at the White House my freshman year, the summer before, and then I worked for the Speaker of the House. And then most recently, I worked for Congressman Darrell Isaac, who does investigations for the Oversight Committee. This is really in charge of doing all the investigations for the federal government. So I have a lot of experience off of campus. And if you literally, I'm always on CNN, Fox, when you see all the interviews. So if you Google my name, you'll see all the interviews.
Excellent. So, before we jump into your guys' questions, I'll give you guys a bit more time to eat. How about you guys speak about the transition since you're all from out of state and other side of the country, the transition to coming to Georgetown, what sort of support networks you found or needed, and how it's been when you go back home, which I think is something interesting to think of as since everyone, if you choose to go to an East Coast school, there's definitely a different perspective that happens when you come back after your first or second semester away.
I don't want to go first.
I guess the biggest thing is there's going to be a transition point, regardless of where you go, if you go out of state, or if you stay within your state or anything like that. Just the fact that you guys are going to college is such a big step in your lives. And you guys should be proud of that. I guess the transitioning into college, especially the Georgetowns of the world. If you look at Georgetown and the type of school it is, there's a lot of preppy students here. It's a lot of it's a wealthy college. So it's definitely transitioning from a place like Compton to here was a completely different atmosphere. I'm not gonna say the transition is easy because it's not. It's a lot of, it's kind of hard to do that, but there's a lot of things that make it a lot easier. For example, the fraternity, that's helped a lot. A lot of the Latino groups here on campus, they help with that transition, finding a home here. And like the financial aid office, a lot of the mentors there, they help with that transition. And the biggest thing about it is that, I guess my transition coming here to Georgetown, in a way, it's really weird, it made me more Latino than I was before, where it made me realize like what being Latino truly meant. Because it's kind of like, coming here to Georgetown, a lot of the aspects of my community weren't present here. And realizing pretty much what it was lacking is what pretty much made me enjoy my culture more, what made me appreciate it more. And yeah, the transition is kind of hard, but I think right now, I'm not gonna say the transition is over, but it's a lot easier. So it becomes easier like as you progress, and definitely like getting outside your own bubble, talking to people, getting to know people within the faculty, your professors, other students, it helps a lot.
My freshman year when I was here, I was miserable. I literally cried myself to sleep. I didn't want to come back when I went home from winter break. I literally did not want to get back on the plane. My grandpa actually had to get off the vehicle and make sure that I made it on the plane. Because it's difficult, no matter where you go, whether it's Georgetown, whether it's, I mean, listen, if you leave your state, you're going to leave your comfort zone. And it was really hard transitioning. But the important thing is that when you leave your home, you grow as a person. And like Martin mentioned, I can't emphasize enough how much I grew as an individual and learned to appreciate my culture. I became more Latino being here at Georgetown and realized what it really meant to be a Mexican American being here at Georgetown because of the things that lacked. I mentioned it to my group when we went to the president's office. Even simple things like tortillas and frijoles and arroz, which is a staple of our food. Because you don't have it, it really makes you realize, you know, what your culture is. I mean, I've been real with my group, and I told you guys, the transition is not easy. It's definitely difficult. But one thing that changed my life, and I'm so much happier this year than I was. Like this exact same time last year, Easter break, I was literally crying in my room. But this year, Easter break, I'm much happier, and that's one, the fraternity changed my life. It's definitely supporting. But the other thing too is that Georgetown, because it's a small community, is actually very, very, very good at supporting students. Like Martin mentioned, I mean, I'm basically beating a dead horse and echoing what he said, but you have people at the financial aid office who are willing to help. I mentioned to my group that Georgetown is one of the most generous institutions when it comes to financial aid. You have the GSP office, which is especially focused for first generation students who are in college. We have plenty of resources. This is going to be your playtime. The one thing I will say is that when you call home and you tell your mom, I'm miserable here, and you call your dad and you're saying, Dad, I'm miserable here, a lot of your parents are not going to understand what the difficulties or the obstacles that you're facing here are. And it's definitely a learning experience. It's something that you might have to do on your own. And that's why when I met you guys earlier today, I told you, if you call me at 3 in the morning, I'm going to answer the phone call. Whether you come to Georgetown or not, wherever you go, I will be there because the transition is not easy no matter where you go. But it's definitely a learning experience. Don't take it so much as like negative. If you leave your freshman year the same person that you came in, you've done yourself a disservice. If you leave your freshman year the same person you came in, you went to the end of your life. Your freshman year, you will grow more than you did in the 4 years in high school. And you will truly start to learn who you are and what you really stand for.
Wise words. Esmeralda, do you like to share anything?
Yeah, no, I will. In a similar fashion, my freshman year sucked. This is still my freshman year, but this latter half is getting so much better. Partly because of the people I've met. Thank you guys. Yeah, but first semester was rough. Jeez. Oof. I really didn't leave my room. It was like, go to class, go back to your dorm. Because you don't know what else to fill your life with, right? Then they have this thing on campus where all the clubs come to promote themselves. And like, I don't know, it was amazing. Like light after the darkness, I see like these two beautiful people smiling at me. And I'm like, I wish I could be that happy. And so I go up to them and introduce myself. And they were part of this church organization called Agape, which is non-denominational, but it's still Christian. And that was my support for the first semester. And that's what I relied on to not feel like I was spending all my time in my dorm. Coming from where I did, this little place that's like 1000% Hispanic. I think there was one white kid and he felt so awkward in there. Like, I don't know, it kind of boxes you in. You don't have many influences. But joining Agape and coming to the school, that it leaves you open to things. It leaves you open to experiences. I met my first Asian. It was fantastic. God, that sounds so embarrassing to say. But just you make freshman year what you want it to be. You make your life really what you want it to be. And my first semester here, I was not in a place where I was ready to meet people. But I've changed since then. And I don't know, I'm glad to say that I'm happy here now. Is there another question?
That's fine. That's good. We'll take a quick second. Jose, please introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, glad to see you all here. My name is José Altamirano. I'm a freshman here at Georgetown. I'm from North Carolina, so really far away from California where we're all from. But yeah, if you have any questions, just
What are you involved with? Or what do you work on?
I work at the alumni house. I call people and fundraise. On campus, I'm involved with Hilltop Tacos. I write for the Georgetown Independent, which is a magazine, and I'm also at Phi Iota Alpha, a fraternity here on campus.
So, touching up on something Jonathan said, so everyone's on the same page. Let's talk a bit about Georgetown's financial aid and what makes it different, like including GSP. Everyone can chime in, but I think Jonathan might have the best.
So I actually, I'm sorry to my group, I know I mentioned a lot of this already. I actually work at the financial aid office. So all the FAFSA documents that come in the CSS profile, which you guys will learn about, I process. So Georgetown's being blunt, which means that when they admit students, they don't look at your financial circumstances. They don't look at how much money you have or what your parents make. They basically look at who you are as an individual. And they look at you as a whole person. Once you're admitted to the campus, Georgetown has one of the most generous financial aid programs in the entire world. I think it's something like 60% of students, 60 or 70% of students who have substantial need, their need is met 100%. I will say this publicly, I was blessed. I have a full ride here. Basically my freshman and sophomore year, everything's been paid for. Now, when people say full ride, it doesn't really mean full ride because you still have to pay for like food, you have to pay for textbooks or little supplies here and there. But it costs $64,000 a year to come here. And that's way more than my parents make in a year. So it's definitely a blessing to be here. And Georgetown tries to keep loans. So a lot of the public schools will offer you loans to pay for school. Georgetown tries to keep loans to a minimum. I think on average, most seniors, this is just an average, it may be different for other people, but I think the average is like you graduate with like between $10,000 and $20,000 in debt, which is nothing compared to how much you pay to come here to Georgetown. Georgetown tries to keep it very, very good minimum. And then aside from that, we have an office called the GSP office, and the GSP office issues grants. And so let's say you need money to go home, or you need a plane ticket, or you need a calculator for this class, or stuff like that. You just contact GSP and say, hey, this is for school, I can't afford this textbook, or stuff like that. You fill out the form, they'll review it, and generally they're very generous, and they'll help you out. And it's definitely a resource that a lot of schools don't have.
It's also a network, so anyone wants to talk about that.
Extending on what Jonathan just said, I remember my senior year of college, high school.
Next year.
Next year. Okay. High school. And I received the letter from Georgetown. I actually didn't like receive an acceptance letter, but I received like a letter that said they wanted me to attend some summer program. So I received that, but it was kind of like, so what about financial aid? Like, what do you call it? I need money to go here. So pretty much it was either Georgetown or I think it was LMU. But with LMU, I think I was gonna have to like take out like a lot of loans because they were only gonna pay like half of the tuition. But then Georgetown came and said, yeah, like we're gonna pay for everything, and I was like, well, I guess we're going to Georgetown. And like he said, it might seem kind of scary, not knowing where like a lot of the money is gonna come from. But in regards to Georgetown in itself and a lot of like the Ivy League schools, a lot of like the top 30, top 20 schools like around the country, they'll do their best to get you there. And that's definitely not something that you should be afraid of. I know that at least for Georgetown, like when we like fundraise money, we have $1 billion campaigns. So like a couple of years ago, we started I think like a $7.5 billion campaign, and like we're already like more than halfway done with it. Yeah, we're almost done with it. So like that's just like ridiculous, the amount of power and money that these schools can get. And the thing about it is that you should definitely be receptive to it, because I know like personally when I came here, a lot of people were telling me, oh, you need something, go to GSP, ask them for help, ask them for like if you don't have enough money to travel home, go ask for help, go ask for help. And that's the thing that people constantly tell you, go ask for help, go ask for help. But I know personally me, as a, and this is just me, I'm not saying it like stereotyping anybody, but as a Latino male, I was always taught to like, if you need something, you provide it for yourself. If you need something, you go out, you work, you don't put your business out there, you pretty much, you earn your money and you make it work. But that's something that here in college, we have to realize that you have to work the system. You have to learn how to pretty much provide for yourself in a different way. And the best way to do that is by getting the resources. It's by getting that extra help. And yeah, like GSP as not only a network, like a place to get like money from for like any of your needs. It's network. It's amazing. A lot of the alumni that graduate from there still come back. They hang out with us throughout Easter break, Thanksgiving break. During Thanksgiving break, there's this program where the GSP office will pretty much connect you with other GSP alumni, and they will pretty much feed you for Thanksgiving. You'll go to their house, and it might seem a little awkward, but it's really not. Like, I remember my first year, I went to, and I've been constantly going to their house. They're like, they love football. Coincidentally, well actually no, they love like the opposite team that I like, but what do you call it, going to their house, it was always fun because it was kind of like, we watch football, then we start eating, and then it's pretty much like, the family like loves baking pies. So like they would have like 10 pies out, and then like at the end of the meal, they would be like, oh Martin, take more food home, take food home, take food home. And I'd be like it'd be a little like weird, but at the same time, it's kind of like a second family, or like pretty much another group that helps you out in your transition into college. And I know that that's something that definitely benefits a lot of students, and that's like something a lot of schools don't provide, or that's something that a lot of people wouldn't expect the school to like care about. But Georgetown cares about that. They don't only care about you being met financially, but in a way like emotionally, socially, and they'll do their best to pretty much find somebody that can mentor you, or find somebody that can like make your time here at Georgetown a lot easier. And I know that that's definitely what they've done for me.
Just add in, like GSP is good for networking you to find like a job after college, like myself as a senior. They've definitely been trying to connect me with people who job opportunities. And just something I was backtracking a little bit just to add on, since a lot of you guys will be applying to more than just one private university. Sometimes it comes down to like the financial aid package, which is what my thing was talking about. And I know like one of our friends, it was between here and Yale. And at the time he had to pay about like $10,000 for Yale, and Georgetown wanted him to pay like $20,000. And he was gonna go for Yale, and something that someone suggested to him was to talk to the universities, they'll fight for you. They'll like if you haggle with them, that, hey, I really want to go to this other university is offering me a better financial aid package, what can you guys offer? Because if they accept you, that means they really want you to go to their school. And if you tell them, oh, this other school offering me a better package, sometimes they'll be like, okay, and you'll be able to get a full ride. So just something to keep in mind. And would anyone like to talk about the support and or like the application process for undocumented students or dreamers?
Okay, I guess
Okay,
I'll say that. So I'm from Compton, California, but that's like the city where I was not born. That's where I was raised. But I'm originally from Toluca, Mexico. So I came here when I was around 6 years old, and then like all that stuff like what do you call it? Like the education helped out, whatever. In terms of I think it's changed a little bit now since, what do you call it, since I applied, because like through DACA and all that kind of stuff that came out. But when I applied, there's certain things that they pretty much don't, some things in the college application don't really affect you that much. So kind of like the application itself, that's not a problem. You can apply for colleges if you're undocumented. The biggest concern is financial aid. And like I said, I was going through that exact same process, so it was kind of like scary, like knowing that, okay, you can get accepted to as many colleges as you want, but you're not going to get any financial aid. But that's I guess one of the things that that I lacked, and it was knowledge, knowing like the avenues that I could approach in order to enter college. Kind of like what Tony said. If a college accepts you, they will do like whatever they can to like get you there, because it's an extra and I know it might sound like kind of bad, but it's kind of like you're something that, it's not bad. They need you to go to their university or college. And I know personally for me, here at Georgetown, because a lot of I can't receive federal aid, so I can't get that. But a lot of my scholarship is funded through like private, like a private fund. So some colleges, they have that. Like I said, especially like the top colleges. But even then, like there's a lot of scholarships that are geared towards undocumented students. And I know personally, like a lot of states, I think California, like they've started like offering like a lot more of that since like DACA came out. But yeah, I think that personally, like what helped me a lot was talking to my financial aid counselor, my college counselor at school, because they're really knowledgeable about that kind of stuff. And like I said, if you really talk to them and you try to get more information, it'll help out. But like I said, like I'm here at college, so it's not something that's like impossible. And like each year, like Georgetown accepts I think like 6 undocumented students. So we have I think like 18 right now, and like it's not like one of those things where like they just accept them and then they forget about them. We've had plenty of them graduate from here. I know like recently like 3 graduated last semester. So well, not last semester, last year. So it's definitely something that's possible. It's not, what do you call it? Like you shouldn't. I'm not saying don't worry about it, because you definitely should worry in terms of like being proactive, looking for opportunities, applying for colleges, financial aid, and all that kind of stuff. But don't stress to the point where it's like where you pretty much like psych yourself out or think that you can't go to college, because it's definitely possible.
One last question before we open it up. So why don't you guys talk about what makes Georgetown different, like on its location being in DC, and like a positive experience that you've had with that?
So yeah, Georgetown is obviously located in DC, and it being the nation's capital has plenty of opportunities that goes along with that. It's incredibly easy, well, it's not incredibly easy, but it's incredibly convenient to intern for your senator or representative at Capitol Hill during your time here at Georgetown. That opens up a lot of doors for you, whether you want to work in politics or lobbying or consulting. That's an incredibly useful path to take. You can also work, intern at any of the other federal agencies here in the Capitol. I know Jonathan, for example, worked for a congressman last semester. He can talk more about that if he wants. And just being in DC, DC's a great city. Like it's a couple of minutes away on foot here from campus, and the opportunities to just go sightseeing at the monuments, the museums. It's incredibly it makes the campus experience much more just a much more great experience. You go on a run for the monuments. I mean, I don't think any other colleges you can say, oh, I went on a run for Lincoln Memorial, just for the heck of it, It's a great experience being so close to like such a culturally rich city. There's cuisines from all around the world. It's kind of pricey. I mean, you have to expect that, but there's just a lot of opportunities that it's a benefit of being both like kind of a college town here at Georgetown itself, and also a metropolitan city, DC. So.
This is gonna sound kind of bland, but I love taking walks. Texas, you can't really walk anywhere. You have to take a car everywhere. It's insane. And I lived in a kind of bad neighborhood, so you didn't want to be outside. But I don't know, I'll find myself walking around at 3 a.m. to the monuments because I can't go to sleep. Or chilling out with friends near the Potomac. It's great. Just the fact that you can do these things is, I don't know. It's great for me. You guys will probably like it too if you do it too. But also, once you really start to think about it, it's a little bit chilling how this one city controls the entire country. And you've got so many important people there. It's insane. There's tons of opportunities, and I'm going to start looking into this because I haven't taken full use of those opportunities and I want to. Okay.
Who's interested in business? Okay. Who's interested in being a doctor? Maybe like science or whatever. Science in general. Who's interested in government, politics? Who's interested in psychology? I don't know, just throwing random things out there. Who's interested in kind of saving the world and ending world hunger? All of you who raised your hand, there's something for you to do here in Washington, D.C. Whether it be finance, whether it be business, I guess business is fine, whatever. Whether it be government, like, it's all here. I got into, I don't really talk about this, but I got into Harvard, Yale, Stanford, into all the universities that I applied, Georgetown, and I chose Georgetown. I chose Georgetown over Harvard, Yale, and Stanford because I knew that if I went to Harvard, I'd be in the middle of nowhere, right? If I went to Stanford, that's great for technology, but what other place was I going to have everything at my fingertips? So it's definitely an opportunity. And I told my group, I don't like to just stay in the Georgetown bubble. I go out a lot, and so there's something to always do in DC, always. So any interest that you have, there's a place for you here in DC. And there's different embassies too. There's something called Embassy Road. So all the countries have little things they go on to, and it's always available.
Two things. One, just like from an opportunity standpoint, I guess just like furthering your own profession, your education. Kind of like back saying a little bit of what everybody said. Every single day, it's almost like at every single hour, you get emails from like every single one of our professors. There's this thing going on in Washington, D.C. Like there's this event, there's this internship, intern for this person, intern for that person. And kind of like what Jose said, that it's not saying it's easy to like intern for your congressman, but the opportunity is there at every single second. I can tell you for a fact that every single year, every single semester, I get an email from GSP or from like someone at the university saying, "Oh, look, you're from California. Your representative wants you to work there." So it's like every single like semester, like that's an opportunity that's there. In terms of comparing this area to California, you guys know that if you go from like one end of California to the other end, it's like 9 hours, and ta-da, you're still in California. That's not a bad thing. I love California. But if you do that over here, you're gonna travel through like 6 states. I can tell you that throughout my time here at Georgetown, I've been to like a lot of pretty much like
East Coast.
Yeah, I've been throughout the entire like eastern coast, and it's amazing. It's amazing, like on a Saturday, just like road tripping like up to New York, going to New York, spending time with your friends, going even like upstate New York, coming back down, coming back to Georgetown, and just like realizing, oh, like I went through all these states with my friends, like making all these memories that you can do in California, but like honestly, like it's like I said, like you have to get out of your comfort zone, and that's definitely something that you can do over here. In a couple hours, like I think it's like 6-7 hours, you can be like in Florida. and yeah, like it's amazing, like the amount of opportunities that are just within this area. Just because the states are so small that you can pretty much travel through all these states and like see all this culture. It's just amazing.
Who, I don't know if I'd stuck to my group specifically or to the whole group. Joe Biden. Who knows Joe Biden?
Right.
He's always here. Literally, I was riding my skateboard and I hear, "Brr, pull over." And like it's like he's like motorcade just casually coming to Georgetown because he wants to come out and hang out here. I've done the elliptical next to Michelle Obama.
What?
Literally, like she had massive biceps, let me tell you. But she was here, and I was just casually like chilling next to her. Bradley Cooper is always here. Another girls go, "Oh,
He's an alum.
he's an alum."
Yeah.
And so he's always here. Who else is always here? Hillary Clinton is always
here
here.
off campus.
Bill Clinton.
John Kerry actually lives down the street.
Right, I told you guys he lives on the street. Sometimes it's really annoying. It's like, okay, can I just get to class? Like, I don't really care. Because I really just want to get to class. Like, that building right there, that classroom, yeah, I'm going there. And like, the Secret Service will be like, no, you have to go around. It's like, oh gosh.
So Bill was here.
So Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton,
Nas.
Sonia Sotomayor was here.
Yeah.
Nas,
Common was here.
Kanye West,
Jay-Z was here.
Jay-Z.
Big Sean.
Big Sean. Okay, well that's something different. But oh, and another thing, like a lot of like sports teams, they use like our facilities to like train. So like the Lakers have been here.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant was here. Like whenever like anybody like out of the city plays like the Wizards,
They're here.
they're here. Whenever any football team is gonna like play against the Redskins, they're here. What's it called? Beckham was here like a couple of was here, like, so like a lot of sports teams come here for like our facilities, and like even like politicians, celebrities, artists.
I mean, the Obama girls like, I told this, I said this joke already, but the Obama girls like to come wake me up in the morning and play tennis right next to where I live.
Yeah.
And so it's really annoying.
So, and like he said, it's kind of like one of those things like after so many like emails about like this person's gonna be on campus, this person's gonna be on campus, it gets annoying. I remember we were trying to get back into Georgetown, but it was like when Obama visited,
It's closed.
it was closed, and we had to like take like the entire like go like completely around, and there was like traffic here is already terrible, but I was just like, come on Obama, like on all days that you had to visit, like I have to go to class, like I'm about to be late because of you.
Right there where the little circle is, you'll see a bunch of black cars.
Yeah.
And then you'll just be like, oh, someone's on campus, better wake up half an hour earlier to get to class on time. So it just comes with the territory. It's DC.
I think that's how they're talking about how it gets annoying after a while. It just shows how great Georgetown is that there's just so many opportunities to see all these famous people, wonderful events that after a while it gets in the way of regular life, and it's like, it becomes mundane. Like I don't think there's any other university in this country that has that potential, like for the opportunity for the extraordinary to become the ordinary, and it's just here at Georgetown.
It hurts to be so privileged.
Like don't get us wrong. It's definitely a blessing and it's a privilege. I mean, I still cry. Yes, I cry. Like sometimes I love riding my bike and I'll go out and then you'll just hear like burp in the distance and you're like, oh, the president's motorcade's coming. And I mean, I'm still waiting, and it's just like it's really cool to be like this far away from the president as he's like passing by. So.
And it's about taking advantage of those opportunities, because like I said, like yeah, it might sound like oh we're tired of it, but like he said, like I've gone to like a lot of these like. It's not like if somebody like that, like if Kobe Bryant came again and like he was like gonna give like a speech or something, like I'd be there, like I'd be there. But it's about taking advantage of these opportunities. It's about like getting out of your comfort zone and reaching out and actually like approaching like these opportunities as they come. And like he said, like yeah, I'm gonna rep Georgetown till the end. Like there's no better school than here. But these opportunities are also available to a minimal extent at other colleges and universities. But what do you call it? Like we're a great university and other colleges are too. So take advantage of your opportunities. I guess that's like the message behind it.
Okay, I think the phone is saying something.
That's why, like I said, let's open it up to questions you guys may have.
Not all of you at once now.
So how many majors does Georgetown offer?
That's a very simple answer. I just found out actually yesterday you can create your own major, so you can do that. But so it's like you can do whatever you want. Well, I think generally, I think what I went on the website said 57 different majors.
I think a good way to state it is that we're pretty proficient or really good at everything but engineering right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
honestly, we're like,
The business schools on the top, like all the programs are top in the country except engineering.
So you
So
guys
this is
offer
what-
me
Marine biology, I don't think so.
that's something I think only UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
That I know, because I have someone who majored in it, it's there. Only because they had it there.
What is the second
She's a follower.
What's the what?
Acceptance rate?
16, it got me up.
11.
My year was, no,
It's not that
it's
low.
no, it's 16 points, no, it's 15.7.
It will drop a little.
Yeah, when I got accepted, it was 16.3. When I got accepted, it was 16.3. This year it dropped to like 15.7.
And the one thing that makes Georgetown different is it doesn't accept the Common App. You have to go like through the website and do still know?
Yeah,
And mail
it's a
those.
separate application.
And the cool thing about Georgetown is that there's this rumor that goes around that if you get the big package, you're in, and if you get the small envelope, you're rejected. Does that ring a bell for the older folks in the room?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Don't look over here.
What was that?
Don't
So when I got the small letter from Georgetown, I wanted to cry because I was like, I got rejected. But then I opened it and I was like,
It's
you
a one-page letter, you're in.
But yeah, it's a small letter that you get from Georgetown. They're still very old school. Everything's paper. Everything's like very.
Yeah.
So if you get a big one, you bring your current.
I don't think there'll be any big ones.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Sorry, you're not.
Yeah.
Here are the colleges you can look at.
No, I think at least for me, the worst ones are like, they send you an email and they're like, oh, log in so that you can see your like acceptance
Oh my
like
God.
thing. And then you log in, it's like rejected. I'm like, really? Like, you're gonna just say that in the email? It's terrible.
Subject titles high.
Any other questions? There's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people.
So, what did you guys, how were you guys able to, okay,
Can you state your names? Because I'm trying to remember names.
so hi, I'm Alfredo.
Okay.
So, how did you guys get to where you're at now? So, you know, at this college, what did you guys do? How were you able to get in high school?
Okay. Alright.
You start.
I mean, I'm the one that hasn't been in high school for like the longest. Oh, tell me.
I mean,
He's ancient.
I still, my easiest way of saying is the community service helps a lot. I think SAT, especially now that they're changing it, it matters, but it doesn't matter as much. They honestly, by now, they're actually disregarding SAT scores, especially if they look at your background because they know that it's really biased. For me, especially because of the way Georgetown is structured, they really want people who are men and women for others, so they want people who are going to contribute back to this campus, that they're going to be active community members. And I was really active back home. I was president of my high school. I had won awards. I had helped out at the clinic. Things like that really, things that help make you stand out as well help you get to Georgetown and I'm sure any other university.
If your GPA or your SAT score isn't the highest in the world, it's not the end of the world. Don't worry about it. Just show who you are outside the classroom. Get involved as much as you can. You're all from California. You'll have, as I'm sure I hear from these guys all the time, you have incredible opportunities to get involved in community service, in leadership, and extracurriculars. Show consistency and show leadership, and you'll have a good shot. Like, the days where like, oh, if you got like a 1600 in the SAT, you can't get anywhere, they're over. Because Georgetown is, you know, it recognizes that a lot of students from different backgrounds have a hard time at getting those like high scores that other students can. So it does its best to like kind of level the playing field a little bit with admissions. So I recommend get involved as much as you can outside the classroom, and of course do well as much as you can in the classroom, in the test room. But you know, it's not like, you know, oh, I have to worry 100% of the SAT or the ACT.
Yeah.
It's no longer like that.
What do you call it? I know, like, personally for me, like, I always advise people to, like, reach for the stars, because if you pretty much set, like, a high goal for yourself, then, it's not saying that you're not gonna reach it, but it's saying that you should, like, try your best to reach your highest potential. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I had a very high GPA. I was, like, well involved in, like, high school. I did a lot of things. I played sports, took art classes, AP classes, all that kind of stuff. But, Georgetown, what the worst part was, not worst, but like the the thing that I thought was going to damage my application the most was my SAT score and my ACT score. I'll be completely honest, my ACT score I think it was like a 22, and my SAT was like 1800. I think that's like the highest I ever got. And I know like there's people here at Georgetown that have less than that. Like less than that. When I mean less, I mean like 13, like 100. So it's like, but like he said, like Georgetown is starting to, and a lot of colleges are starting to realize that like the SAT scores and like the ACT scores, they're like a little bit like, they're skewed more towards like a certain like sector in society, like it benefits them more. And they have like a higher chance of like scoring higher scores.
It's also because they get to test, they pay for the test prepping and everything.
So the thing with that is kind of like, yeah, because come on, isn't it like a little iffy that the same people that are administering like the test are the same ones that are making like the practice and like, what do you call it, having all these like test sessions? That's a little iffy. But anyways, the thing like with all that is to like try your best. Like in high school, I know that I did like maybe like 10 activities like on a yearly basis and enjoyed that. Like enjoy taking opportunity, like the opportunity to like have all these like different activities, because in college like you'll probably be dedicated to like 2 or 3 organizations. And that's definitely something that I don't regret, because I feel like I could have done a lot more. But take advantage of those opportunities, you know, work hard. If you can, study for the test, like the SAT, ACTs. Try your hardest, but don't get discouraged just because like one sector of your like application might not be the best. I know that for the Georgetown application process, I think that's like the last thing that they look at, right? Like the test scores. They look at like your personal essay first, and like they look at everything else beforehand. So like definitely have like all the other like sections of your application. Try to make every single spot, every single like sector like as best as possible. But like don't be afraid to apply to a college just because like let's say, oh, my GPA is not the highest that it can be. My test scores are like this low. Try your best, and honestly, like give it all you can, and if you fail in like one like sense, don't be afraid to like still like try to apply.
And just to go back to the question of like how to like get here, I know I've heard it straight from the admissions officers, and I know you guys have already met with a lot of them, is that they, like the letters of recommendations, like what you write about, they really want to see how you respond to a challenge, how you can like adapt, because I think all of us can say like your first day here, like you'll face a new challenge every other day. Like it's always something new. And I think colleges recognize that. They want to see, like in the recommendations, they don't want, oh, this student will do all their assignments on time, this and that. They want to see this person respond to a challenge and they accepted it and they really learned and they grew from it.
Yeah.
Growth. They want to see growth. They want to see that when you come here that you're able to grow here too. That's not going to be, oh, I have a challenge, I'm out of my comfort zone, I'm not going to respond, I'm just going to stay, do what I know, and yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like growth and consistency. Because like I said, like if you ask, and you're gonna hear like different stories. Hear like different stories, different like people talking about like how they what do you call it? Like when they apply, their like life story, like all that kind of stuff. You'll hear that like on the first days of school. I have a like really close friend. His first 2 years of high school, like he was I don't want to say terrible student, but like his grades were like very low. I think it was like at a 2 point, like less than a 2.0. Like he was like pretty bad. And then like the next 2 years of high school, like something happened in his life. He basically changed it around. He graduated with like a decent GPA, had an amazing essay. Only college he applied to was Georgetown. He got accepted. Then there's other stories of like students that like they have perfect GPAs, perfect SAT scores. They graduated from like a prestigious like high school, don't get accepted. It varies, and like that's just to say like work your hardest and like try your best and like do as much as you can.
Yep.
Well, what if there's like people that have never faced challenges in their lives, something like I don't know, like that really hit them hard, like because I know there's people that don't that have it easy, you know.
I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
So I talked to admissions. I remember this from my senior year. I'm going to keep it short. The admissions officer said something really cool. He said, "What are you doing for your community? I don't just want to see that you have a 4.0 and that you're involved in every campus club on campus. That's great. When you're president of your senior class, So is, 100,000 other students. Great, you're involved in Key Wins, you're involved in Red Cross, you're involved in the, what is it, I think it's NHS, National Honor Society. That's great. He's like, but when I see that you're president of all this stuff, that makes you one in 1,000 kids, and so I put your application to the side. Admissions wants to see, what are you doing to give to your community? What tools are we going to give you when you're in college to go back into your community and help your community come forward? And so for those of us who haven't faced the challenge, what are you going to give back? And I told my group this, what are you going to give back to society? How are you going to use the tools this college has given you to give back to society? And how are you going to improve your community? Because this is an investment. They're taking a chance on you, and they're making an investment for you to go back to your community and help the other kids move up. So that's the best I can say.
So how would you, I'm Chelsea López, by the way. So how would you all describe social life?
Honestly, the best way to make friends or meet people or to socialize is through clubs, because everyone knows each other very well and they're very receptive to newcomers. Party life here, I don't know. I've never been exposed to a party life, so I find it very wild. Also, my roommate is pretty crazy, so I don't know. It's what you want it to be. You can either go all out, drink, hang out with people who are not so great, or you can have fun without substances.
Yeah. All right. So I guess in terms of social life, you look at like a lot of the residents, like residencies, and by residencies I mean like a lot of the like dormitories. A lot of them, they provide events like on a weekly basis. You'll get emails of that, like they're playing bingo, they're playing like these different activities, like in these different like areas around campus. Especially if you're a new student, they're gonna have like a bunch of activities for you. That includes soccer, basketball, and a lot of like activities, including the clubs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like the social life, I don't think that's something that you should, like anybody should be too worried about. It's something that like, if you make friends, like it'll be there. And like a lot with the, like kind of like the club aspect of it. Like clubs, I mean like student run activities, not like the clubs outside and all that kind of stuff. But the clubs on campus, they have a lot of opportunities to travel to, like, let's say Harvard, to travel to Yale. And I know that I've had the opportunity to go with them like to Harvard and like other universities. And like when you go there, like there's a lot of conferences, you meet a lot of new people. And yeah, like they have parties and all that kind of stuff. But like that's kind of like I don't know how to say it. It's kind of like there's a lot of opportunities like to be social here on campus. It's not just like one small avenue. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. So.
Making friends isn't really hard. Keeping friends can be, because everyone's so busy at times. Well, I'm going to echo what they said. The social scene, for the most part, is driven by clubs. Like, you make most of your friends with the clubs and organizations you choose to get involved with. To echo what Esmeralda said, the parties are mostly hosted by clubs. You know, it's mostly club driven. And I would suggest, don't run into the temptation, oh, I'm going to get involved with like 5 to 10 different clubs my first semester, my first year, because you're going to spread yourself too thin, you're not going to make the most of your opportunities. Stick to what you're passionate, stick to what you really like, choose 1, 2, 3 clubs that you know you're going to make an impact in, both in and out. Also, who here sings? Like sings like in a chorus. Georgetown has like, just in my opinion, amazing opportunities for singers. Like they have like over like 5, they have 6 a cappella groups, and like, you know,
and choirs.
And you know, they go all the time. They go to like Madison Square Garden. They go to like perform in front of these big crowds. So I mean, that's just I'm highlighting one example of how just one passion can become an incredible resource and opportunity.
I'm gonna move away from the cheesy and move to the real. Everything they said is true, but one of the issues that I had when I got to Georgetown, I don't drink, and I think that's something we haven't touched upon. I don't drink, I don't party, and I don't do any of that. And when you come to Georgetown or you go to any other university, the drinking atmosphere is always there. And do not feel compelled to fall into that just because that's what's around you. If that's not how the way you like, that's you have to be true to yourself and be true to who you are, right? Don't fall into the peer pressure. Don't do it just because someone oh, we're gonna go out drinking. I don't drink. I don't fall into the peer pressure. I don't do that. You can have fun in other ways that don't involve drinking. And so one of the hardest things for me freshman year was that I would see all the students go out to parties and drink, and I mean, if that's your thing, that's cool, but that wasn't my thing. I don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me. And so that's where the clubs kick in. That's where people like that kick in. And so that's what they're getting at. But I think the one big thing we miss is that unfortunately drinking is part of the culture at college, and it's in the atmosphere. But do not fall into it just because you see all those around you doing it. If it's not you and it doesn't call your attention and that's not who you are, don't do it. It doesn't make you any cooler if you go. It doesn't make you any less cooler if you don't go. Be yourself. Stay true to yourself. Don't fall into the peer pressure. I'm happy as can be, even though I don't drink. I don't have to.
Kind of talking a little bit about that. What do you call it? It's kind of funny because I remember like 2 weekends ago, like you said, the peer pressure of people like saying like, oh, do this, do that. It was who was it? It was the two of us. I think Jose was there. Like there were like parties going on campus and people were like, oh, come to the party, do this and that. But I remember like instead of doing that, it was like actually the three of us and like a couple of our friends like that we met like the clubs, kind of like what you said, like we went laser tagging instead. So we were like, how close? It's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
It was like 15 minutes away. Like the alternatives are like we go laser tagging. We do like karaoke in our house. We do just dance. Like we were there from like 9 p.m. till 4 in the morning. So like that.
And I think just to add on, a lot of like how the groups, like your circle of friends, what you'll notice, sometimes it's a lot of it is kind of class based. I know like my freshman year, my roommates were 2 students in the MSB who had gone to boarding schools. They had gone to Deerfield. And they were really affluent. They'd always go out to the club, like club up in the downtown. And like we would try to hang out, but it just like sometimes it just doesn't mix because they're in a totally different scene of what they're interested in. So your circle of friends are going to be probably like-minded people who can do the same sort of stuff you can. Like sometimes you can't just be like, oh, let's go to the club, spend $100, let's go get wasted. And that's really what you'll see, and that's like where that like peer pressure kind of comes in. But you have to like really look at it objectively, be like, oh, like that's not really me. Like I can't really do that, and should I be doing that? Like just think twice about it.
Any other questions?
Well, you want to move on?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, my name is Ariana Rodriguez. I am currently a senior. I had a question. Like for me to want to come to like Georgetown, would it be easier for me to go to like a city college and transfer, or should I put off that year and then like apply here?
I know like we have a brother in our fraternity. He actually transferred from a city college. His story is like really weird because he went to a private university. He got kicked out because like a bunch of like stuff happened in like his personal life. Like it was too difficult, like the transition. Afterwards, he went to a community college or like a city college for 2 years, and then he transferred here to Georgetown. I think honestly like that's the best avenue to take, to go to a city college. And I guess the more important thing about that is that I think a lot of people, they dismiss like city colleges, community colleges. They say like it's like second rate, all that kind of stuff. The thing about community colleges is they have so many opportunities, and like their like honors programs and all that kind of stuff. It's really good because they know that a lot of their like work is transitioning students from community college to the university. Get in touch with whoever is in charge of that transition, like at the community college or city college or like wherever you go. Be sure that to the university that you want to transfer to, that the credits that you're taking at your current school are going to transfer. And that's I guess like the best avenue I know, like personally, well not personally, but like from my knowledge.
Isn't it true that if a person transfers from community college and you're taking basic courses,